He does not have the discipline. He does not have the ability for strategic thinking and linear thinking. It is a horror show when he's left to his own devices. And so you may want his policies, but Trump will not deliver Trump policies. He will deliver chaos. He will always put his own interests and gratifying his own ego ahead of everything else, including the country's interests. Well, I've said from the beginning, this case is an abomination. You know, it's obviously political, 7 years after he pays hush money to try to come up with this case. It's also, as you say, it's not only far-fetched, they're trying to predicate it on a federal crime, which wasn't prosecuted, and they're wrong about it. This was not a campaign contribution. They're just wrong on the law. But to me, this shows that the real threat to liberty, the real threat to our system are the excesses of the progressive left. They're perverting the system of justice, and that's where the danger lies, the corruption and subversion of our institutions by the left.
I don't think anyone is surprised by Bill Barr's inevitable move to scurry back to Donald Trump after relentlessly railing on his character and his ability to lead the country due to his extreme selfishness that doesn't even consider the American people. A lot of former enablers find themselves coming back home to his feet, too.
We're tired of the Donald Trump drama. We want real Republican drama. Donald Trump's not a Republican. We want real Republican drama. If he's off the teleprompter, he can barely keep a cogent thought.
You support him for president even if he's convicted in classified documents. You support him for president even though you believe he contributed to an insurrection. You support him for president even though you believe he's lying about the last election. You'd support him for president even if he's convicted in the Manhattan case. I just want to say the answer to that is yes, correct?
Yeah, me and 51% of America.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. I'm for Donald Trump because I know what I'm going to get. We need somebody that on day one can get this country back on track.
Bill Barr is up in arms over Trump's hush money case, forcing him to abandon all those appearances where he basically warned people to avoid voting for a guy that would destroy the country if he doesn't get his way. It's odd that a case he considers null and void is powerful enough to make him forget all of that. So if it's so frivolous and empty, there's no reason for it to not be adjudicated, right? But the desperate attempts to interfere with just the jury selection even signal something more like panic.
They are trying to rig this jury. They are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge. They're saying, oh, have you ever said anything on social media about Donald Trump? No, I can't remember. Well, what about this post where you said he should be in prison? Oh, yeah, that one. Strike. And they keep throwing these undercovers at him, and thank God they're doing their research on these people. So far, the jury foreman is a guy born in Ireland. And then my other hope is a guy born in Puerto Rico with grandkids. The rest of them are corporate lawyers with DEI all over their firm's websites. And you have a 20-year-old white girl who works for Disney and likes to dance. This looks like trouble. I think exactly a hung jury. I think a hung jury is the best you're going to get here.
A hung jury or an intimidated jury. Whatever Waters needs to do to help the former president delay or simply destroy the process.
Here's what happened. We know that this juror called the court and essentially said that she was worried about if she could be impartial. She was worried about if she was fit to serve. So she came in this morning, she talked to the judge, and essentially this is what she says, and I want to make sure I get it. She says that she was excused after she told the judge that, quote, aspects of her identity have already been out there in the public. Yesterday alone, she says she had friends, colleagues, and family push things to her phone questioning if she was the juror. She went on to say that she felt intimidated and she wasn't sure that she would be able to serve fairly. But look, this is an overall problem, and we're likely to see this happen again and again with some of these jurors, and that is why they are trying now to take out some of those identifying factors.
These guys exhibit an ongoing disdain for the judicial system that they celebrate and brag about being the best in the world when people they don't worship are going through it. We're a third world country. We're weaponizing the justice system. There's no way Trump can get a fair trial as long as there's someone out there that doesn't like him, is what they keep saying. But they also tell us that an overwhelming number of Americans love them some Donald Trump and can't wait to get his ass back into office. So if that's the case, he shouldn't have any issues getting people on the jury that will, by their admission, be unfair and rule in his favor no matter what evidence is presented, right?
Donald Trump reposted something posted by the 8 p.m. host on Fox, Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters says they are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury. And there's Donald Trump himself posting that on social media tonight, posting it for the jurors in his case to see, calling them liberal activists and liars. This is, by Donald Trump, by any interpretation, juror intimidation. This is specifically aimed at intimidating the 7 people already seated on that jury and anyone else who might be seated on that jury, that when you're seated on Donald Trump's jury, you will be attacked, you will be publicly attacked by Donald Trump and his allies in the news media.
Donald Trump likes to operate with aspects of mobster mentality when facing any opposition to his expectation to do whatever the hell he wants. And jury intimidation is at the top of his list. He knows his MAGA army has been getting ready to act on his order to execute violence when he gives them the okay. They passed the test run on January 6th, so he and his henchmen are keeping them primed and ready to go.
He's willing to sacrifice everything I am. That's why they're coming after us with lawfare. They're going to come after us with everything. That's why the next 6 months is going to be intense. And we need to strap on our, let's see, what do we want to strap on? We're going to strap on our seatbelt. We're going to put on our helmet or your Carrie Lake ball cap. We are going to put on the armor of God. And maybe strap on a Glock on the side of us just in case. You can put one here and one in the back or one in the front, whatever you guys decide. Because we're not going to be the victims of crime. We're not going to have our Second Amendment taken away. We're certainly not going to have our First Amendment taken away by these tyrants.